Hey folks, welcome to the Cell Adventures YouTube channel, and for today we have a very special release, one part of the MIDJOURNEY course that we have on the Apollo Academy to showcase just how simple it is to use artificial intelligence. Now for this particular episode, we'll be talking more about how you can get photorealistic images from MIDJOURNEY and what are some of the correct prompts that you can use to generate those kind of results. Now, of course, if you want to learn more, the full course is available on the Apollo Academy, where we talk about all things in general when it comes to using MIDJOURNEY and how you can apply it as well into the Web3 space. Let's find out more on this particular episode on how to create photorealistic images on MIDJOURNEY. Alright, so folks, welcome back to another episode as we continue to enjoy our journey, learning how to use MIDJOURNEY, an artificial intelligence tool. This course, of course, on the Apollo Academy. Now at this time, we have already gone through a significant amount of content in regards to how to create various images and art. Today's focus, or rather for this video, is going to be a closer look at photography effect prompts. Alright, and based on our work on a specific group of images, we'll be able to draw inspiration from ChatGPT to suggest additional photography prompts that we can use to create a different sense of style and effect when it comes to your images. Alright, so for those of you who have been following the course thus far, you would have been aware of one of the older sets of artwork generated in regards to us starting out with a series of angels. Alright, and for this particular collection, we were then able to translate that into a different series that focuses on high realistic photo quality and also the use of specific camera angles as well in order to create this photo effect, realistic effect, and based on the rainbow theme, as you can see for all the characters in the images. So as we continue to feed the bot more information, we have seen a very interesting take in terms of the output by adjusting certain lighting prompts. Alright, more notably for studio portrait lighting and also under volumetric lighting as well. Alright, we're going to touch on all the different prompts that you see here that are related to the quality, the color coding, and also the light as well. Alright, so before we dive in any further, let's start with some of the prompts that have made our collection what it is today. So we got HDR, something that you can use. This stands for high dynamic range. Alright, and it allows you to put a very good realistic tone to your pictures because, as you can see from the human eye, we have a very high dynamic range as well, which is why we can see details in both shadows and highlights. One that we have included from the start is cinematic effects. So I feel this goes hand in hand with the gamified aspects of prompts, which is the Unreal Render. So you get a very good photo generation that is not too hyper realistic, and it draws a little bit from the gaming, animated kind of effect as well. And we try to blend it together with the cinematic effect. Alright, so it's something out of a super realistic game trailer, for example. Alright, that's the synergy that we can see. Beautifully color coded. I think this is one that we've been able to enjoy very good success across all of our different artworks, and this is just for you to get the full gradient of your colors in the picture. I've always had very positive results from using it, and now this is the key part, right, that highlights the certain lightings that you can use in your images. So studio portrait lighting, as you can see, is the primary light source, and most of the time it is placed right in front of your subject. Alright, so this is one that we were using for the longest time already. This is something that I learned from my colleague as well, the different camera lens. Alright, so this one is 85mm, so you can see that it is in fact listed as the best lens for portraits. Alright, you can see isolating the subject, minimizing distortion, more prompts, more encouragement, for the bot to give you that style that you want, that is once more very subject heavy, character heavy, and very photography heavy as well. Now, volumetric lighting is something that we've been using for a while, alright, and this is actually to sort of give you that cone shape effect, a little bit of an illumination towards beams of light, alright. So we've adapted our artworks to feature sort of like a window background, so you can have light coming in from there, and I think it adds very well to the overall theme, alright, because again, it's a very tinted glass cathedral setting that we had for this series of artworks, and it works very, very well, especially this one, which we did not upscale. Alright, so I'll take the opportunity to do so because I think we might have already done so, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe further down the line, because I'm not sure how I could have missed that one. Yeah, I think I did actually. So that was actually a very impressive example of volumetric lighting. And you can play around with this because for these God rays, you can remove them and once more refer to ChatGPT to give you those different lightings that you can use. I find that for this selection that I was able to get from ChatGPT really goes a long way to change the dimension of how your lighting is going to work, alright? So probably window light works in the same vein, but you need to experiment with your prompts, alright, to really see how the artwork differs, okay? So it's really up to you to try, and you can get a lot of inspiration from ChatGPT as well. Another one that we've been using that is quite decent, I feel, is ray tracing. And this allows you to add a little bit more simulation to the physical behavior of light. You can see that due to the computer graphics team that is based on ray tracing, alright? So this, again, works well with the Unreal render and has a good synergy with the cinematic effect as well, alright? So again, the Unreal render is a rendering system in the Unreal Engine, so again, to give you that gamified experience, so it is not too realistic, again, hanging in that balance between real life quality and what you would find on a high quality game trailer. ZBrush was actually a prompt that I had absolutely no clue about what it did to the effect, alright, but apparently it's a tool, alright, so it's an art tool that allows you to create models and illustrations, alright. So again, very heavily involved in the realistic theme, but again, not being hyper realistic, alright? So we're finding that very small gap, very close to full realistic value, and we're staying there with the Unreal render and also with the ZBrush as well. You can find out more about ZBrush as well on the internet. Octane render, alright? This one is also very, very interesting, and again, built around the concept of computer graphics and animation. So by adding that in, you again further emphasize your desire to have that kind of effect as seen in my collection of artwork. Now, the final resolution, this one is very simple. You can go as low as 4K, 8K, 16K, and 32K, alright? So this, of course, increases the amount of megapixels in your artwork and, of course, refining the quality as well. And one that we added recently to our prompts is the bokeh effect. Now, the bokeh effect has been very commonly used in mobile devices maybe about 4 to 5 years ago when one of the Samsung phones released a mode in their camera that allowed you to take bokeh effect shots. So it will in fact sharpen on the subject but blur out the background. Alright, so previously you could only achieve that with standard photography equipment, but now you can use your mobile device to actually get the bokeh effect on regular pictures, and of course you can encourage the bot to use this prompt to give you that extra focus on your subject while blurring out the background as well. Alright, so again, thanks to ChatGPT, we were able to add in a lot more different options that we can try. And of course, we have all of this within the Discord, so I suggest that for those of you who have already set up your own server and you want to set up different channels to save all these prompts, just go ahead and paste it, alright? It's your private server, or maybe if you're sharing it with a couple of friends, it's good to spread out all this different information and for you to get a better understanding of what MIDJOURNEY can do with these prompts, alright? So back to the artwork that we have here. All right, so once more, this particular piece really capturing a lot of the fine detail. And you can see that from the blurred images towards the back part of the character, very nicely blurred out thanks to the bokeh effect. And we're getting that very nice shading as well. You notice the shadow on her neck there. Very, very nice volumetric lighting, and that is again allowing you to get that different level of shading. And of course, coming together with HDR as well, ray tracing, you know, all those things that we mentioned about the beams of light, the God ray effect, that comes a long way in making a very nice piece of artwork. All right. So Rembrandt lighting is also something that we tried out as well. We can actually get the description for Rembrandt lighting over here. You can see that this is a technique named after the Dutch painter, where light is coming from a 45-degree angle above. Alright, so there's a lot of synergy again with the window background, where the light is coming from, improving the quality of the light as well, and of course enhancing the final outcome with more prompts that follow the same theme. Alright, so what you don't want to do is to include as many prompts as you want that all refer to different subjects, right? So like rim lighting is when the light is coming from behind the subject. Low key lighting is for very dark, moody artwork as well, of photos. So you cannot combine random prompts together and expect to get a good result, because you are only going to confuse the bot. Alright, so you need to be very, very careful when you make that selection. My recommendation, as always, is to keep two very key lighting prompts. Alright, and I just so happen to put them, I just so happen to sandwich the lens prompt in between the two lightings here. Alright, so before that, it's all very basic. Alright, we got character, we got color, we got background. We want that photorealistic quality. We got some extra additional details that define the outfits on the character. We also have the upper torso prompt as well to indicate that we do not want a full body shot. I think that works very well with MIDJOURNEY, because I'm sure, as most of you know, it doesn't work very well with fingers and hands. So you don't want to have a full body shot most of the time. And you also don't want to have too much distortion in the collarbones and the shoulders. Alright, so if those are cropped off pretty decently, then you would not expose MIDJOURNEY's weaknesses. Alright, but I feel over time, with more prompts and more artwork generated, it will get a better understanding of the images that you upscale, and pull back, I would say, pull back on the emphasis of these specific parts of the upper torso. Alright, we have one for the eyes as well. We have a definition for the face. We highlight that we are looking for intricate detail. So again, there is a lot of perfect color coding together with the different variations, alright, of the details. Alright, so every single shade, every single color is very fully defined, and I think this rainbow series is one very good example of how well you can utilize MIDJOURNEY, because after the bot really got an understanding of the theme that we were doing, it started to generate very consistent and very high detailed effects. Okay, the bokeh effect is here as well. We go with Ultra HD. This is probably not needed, because if I were to Google Ultra HD, I'm assuming that could be 8K. So this is, yeah, you see, ultra high definition includes 4K and 8K. So when I call for 32K, that's making that prompt fairly useless. Alright, so that's an interesting thought. What if it's giving you Ultra HD instead of 32K HD? I don't know. Alright, but let's remove it for the next one. We can keep HDR, obviously. Cinematic, we talked about that. Now, the Stan Lee style that we included here was again based on the inspiration of my colleagues' prompts that linked to a series of Marvel characters. Alright, and then we were able to stem to a very modern comic book era sort of like drawing, and of course turning that into hyper realistic. So I'm not taking it out because I don't want to confuse him. So it's been there from the beginning, but you don't have to start with it. You can actually choose another graphic artist or any particular artist that you want to follow a specific style, and then it will give you that effect as well. Okay, but just choose one artist. Okay, don't throw 4 artists in there. You're gonna make the bot very, very confused, that's for sure. Color coded, as we mentioned. Then the 2 lightings around the lens. Ray tracing, we talked about that. Ray tracing reflections, so that is on the reflections or the shading of the shadow, etc. And you also have the Unreal Render, ZBrush, Octane Render. Those again very focused on computer graphics and also the HD. Alright, so let's try something completely different and see the results that we can get with the new set of prompts that we're going to create. Alright, so I'm just going to move this over here. Alright, imagine. I'm going to make sure that my mic is perfectly placed because we've been having a lot of audio issues in the previous one. So I do apologize for the audio going in and out. Okay, we're going to make a very bold move here. Because we want to try and take away the material, alright, of the character's outfit, alright, but without changing too much so that it doesn't go crazy. We're gonna take away this portion as well because we don't need it anymore. We started out with anime, now it's very realistic, right? This part is consistent as well. We have Ultra HD that we need to take away, alright, because we don't want to confuse him. So you can always fine-tune your prompts this way, and eventually it will become a very finished product of a specific genre that you're looking for. We don't want Rembrandt lighting, alright, so let's choose a different lighting that we can use. Let's see what could be nice. We could go with colored lighting. Oh, this is interesting. What if the light is just not ordinary light? Colored lighting. How much will change? Let's find out. So we take away Rembrandt lighting. And the good thing about MIDJOURNEY, because your progress is always saved, right? It's in the chat. So you don't have to worry about losing your direction because you can always go back to the ones that worked and stimulate the bot that way again in the direction that you want. Alright. Volumetric lighting. Again, this is for the God rays from the window light. So let's say we do away with rainbow lights, all right, and we want to try something high key lighting. This is interesting. For bright, airy effects to create a light and cheerful mood. Sure, why not? I don't know whether that's gonna be contradictory to the colored lighting. I hope not. I'm assuming colored lighting and cheery lighting come together in the same way. So we will combine the two. Again, it's all about trial and error, guys. And yes, we'll take away that, paste it down. Sorry, I'm a bit OCD when it comes to my caps and my small letters. Please ignore me. And yeah, that should be it. Okay, so with all the prompts set in, again, we're looking at the character at the top. She's using Rembrandt lighting and volumetric lighting, and a very nice example of putting together all the prompts into such a perfect outcome, I would say. Yes, there's really nothing I can complain about. Even the light on her shoulder, you can notice it's got like the circle effect because some of the designs on the windows are circular. So even that light tracing, that silhouette tracing is so detailed, up to the point that they can feature that on her shoulder. I think that's just crazy from the bot. And now that we have gone really hyper realistic, you can see that we have a whole different set of outcome here. This is really more towards the photography standard, and again, this is highlighting more on the colored lighting and also on the high key lighting as well, alright, for a very cheerful effect. So I think that, for example, number 4 is a very worthwhile option here. I don't really like how the background is sort of touching into the character itself, so you can always re-roll as an example. And the reason why the window background sometimes stimulates what looks like wings was that, again, for those of you who have been with us at the very beginning for this course, our initial characters had wings. So the bot actually remembers that, and based on my algorithm of what I like, it is actually suggesting some wing-like backgrounds every now and then. Again, so the bot is remembering what you like. But I gotta say, number 3 with this character, perfect bokeh effect, alright? You can see the frame of the window, you can see the different panels of tinted glass. It is exceptional. All right. And again, another good example of the bokeh effect right here for number 2. That is perfect. A little bit too much detail for this sister over here. I don't know what's up with the outfit itself. Again, we went with lace to have a softer effect, so compared to the latex. And I gotta say, very, very different output, but super realistic. And the quality is just absolutely top notch. All right, pictures 1 is viable, picture 2 is viable, picture 4 is definitely viable as well. All right, so again, for example, we copy all of this, okay, and let's remove the bokeh effect. All right, because the bokeh effect is having a very, very strong pull on our final outcome. All right, so back to our official links. Let's see whether we can pair this. Ooh, look at this sapphire effect. Create a warm vintage feel. Okay, so are we coming up against any of the other prompts in regards to lighting? No. Colored lighting again is for multiple colors, obviously, so not natural light. And high key lighting is to create a very airy and cheerful light setting as well. So with the bokeh effect out of the way, we can actually include sapphire. All right, I have no idea how it's gonna turn out, but I'm just as excited as you guys. So sapphire effect in front of Stanley style over there, and this is pretty much the only major difference that we are going to have here. You can see that I know some of you might be thinking, what is with the gentle smile prompt? Honestly, it's not been working. Earlier on, we were playing with the cat art, and we found good success when we told the cat to give us a small yawn instead of a regular yawn. All right, where are those cats? I can show it to you. Yeah, there it is. So it's still a very big yawn in my opinion, but it wasn't as big as the ones that we had earlier. But you know, even for some of these cases, you can see the yawn is super big. So it's not gonna give you that much detail, I'm afraid. That's the part that is still missing in version 4, I would say. So without the smile prompt, we could actually see something different if we moved it to the front. All right, maybe as the number 2. Maybe as the number 2. Okay. Hopefully they don't smile too much. All right. It's all about trial and error. Okay. Now with this command, we're gonna punch that in, and we're gonna see what we can have for this final outcome of the day. All right. So again, main character is your first indication there. You can always use stunning character design. That is one that we stuck around with for the longest time to get you up and running with the bot. We've included smiling now as number 2 to see whether that will influence the bot in any way. And yeah, you can see it is coming true. It is coming true, yes, as number 2. They are smiling a little bit too much. They look a bit freaky, in my opinion. A little bit too happy, yes. But aside from that, including the sapphire effect, the vintage look. Yes. Very, very vintage, I must say. I would say number 4 and number 1 have the strongest feel. Alright? And we're not getting as much detail as some of the ones here. So that has really taken a step back from the quality, because sapphire is vintage. It doesn't really go hand in hand with 32K, I suppose. Alright? So they're taking that additional vibe there. And I gotta say, it's a very, very nice output for number 4. We're gonna upscale that and show you guys just how it looks like. So again, using ChatGPT, you can get your inspiration for different lighting prompts. The one that we used here at the top is photography effect. So photography effect is something that you can try. You can see there's cool stuff like tilt shift, grainy, motion blur, infrared, split toning, dual tone, vignette. I have no idea what's a vignette. To darken the edges of your photograph. Cool. You know, learn something new today. Cross processing, solarization, double exposure, selective color, painted effect, and even glitch. Maybe for cyberpunk artwork that you want to do. Okay, it's still not generated yet, so I'll just highlight one more thing before we wrap up this video. If you are looking to tidy up some pictures, maybe there's some parts of the character that are not very well refined. like maybe on the shoulders, the collarbones, some hair sticking out of their mouth, some hair that is like coming out from their earlobes. I've seen it before, strains of hair coming out from the earlobes. Super freaky stuff. Maybe even the fingers as well. You can try clipdrop.co, right? So this came to me recommended from a colleague. I personally have not tried it, but as you can see from the different examples and case studies that they show on the main page, this is something definitely to try out. However, the free version, if I'm not mistaken, does not support high definition artwork. So you may need to make a purchase in order to make those edits for the high quality that you are creating. Alright, so there you go. My goodness. That is a completely different style to what we were creating initially. And now the whole very rainbow gem super cool outfit has gone out the window, and this has taken a very realistic look. Alright, and again, it has that vintage touch, and it's touching on the lace as well. Well, the weird thing is that the bokeh effect is still very strong in the generation, so I'm not sure whether it's still part of photography to blur out the back, maybe, but we'll probably need to punch in the commands a few more times in order for the bokeh effect to be lost. Alright, so one example of not having too much bokeh effect is number 3, for that lady over there. This one also does. This one doesn't look like it has a bokeh effect at all, right? She's so close to the window. I think that's a very, very nice shot. This one, yeah, maybe with the gems, they do look a little bit blurred out. This one also a little bit. So sometimes the bokeh effect will hit hard, sometimes it will not, alright? So it really depends on what you are looking for. And previously when we added in the anime factor, we also had some of them that look more cartoony, but when you remove that, that is where you can maintain a very realistic approach for your artwork generation. Alright, so now the inspiration behind all this again is that for use cases, alright, for those of you who are looking to maybe even make some money from this, you can actually check out Etsy. We could do up a tutorial on how you can do that as well, because we've seen glimpses of people turning these artworks into wall designs. Alright, I want to call it wall paintings, just mounted designs on the wall, and they like break it up into multiple frames. So we'll talk about that in another episode, and that could be a potential way for you to even earn some cash on the site. But again, keeping things very Web3 centric. Again, if you're looking to build very realistic photos, maybe even for an NFT collection or for anything in particular, it could be an on-chain achievement token. We mentioned that before. This could be one way for you to create this kind of effect and this kind of standard. Alright, so all that and more with photography effects, you can continue to explore on ChatGPT and test it out on MIDJOURNEY. We will see you for the next episode right here as we continue to learn more about artificial intelligence on the Apollo Academy. Alright folks, with that, hope you enjoyed the episode. Don't forget you can find the rest of the course on the Apollo Academy. And if you want to see more of this on YouTube, do let us know in the comments below. We'll be covering a lot more when it comes to artificial intelligence, and this is just a taste of what you can accomplish once more when you generate images on MIDJOURNEY utilizing the full potential of artificial intelligence. And of course, once more, Captain Aqua here to remind you to stay calm and keep building. Bye-bye.